Good morning, class. I wanted to go over and show you a little bit about what is in your portal for the final. We know that I try to give explicit directions, but I'm not always the best. I'm going to go over this verbally for you in a little bit. But the first thing when you're planning a lesson is you really try to envision the people that you're trying to serve. You try to think of the kids. What are the kids going to be like? Will they like this? This is good. This fits what I'm supposed to do. And then you begin to look and search for your books, and you find the two perfect books. And in this assignment, you actually have a video read aloud of the books, so you can get your head wrapped around the books. I have also scanned the major book, the focus book, Sky Sisters, for you. You'll see that it's down here. And then you have the language arts standards, and you also have the social studies standards. Now, I would caution you or suggest to you that you have done this exact same thing at the first of this semester. Now I'm asking you to go deeper with your thinking and to build a deep understanding of how to do lessons that put two texts together that have a similar theme but have different cultural backgrounds. One of these books, Sky Sisters, is about an Obadiah Native American family, and the story is about two sisters who do a traditional thing that Obadiah Native American families do. They love the night sky, and they go out at night and they look for, they call the Sky Sisters, they go out and look for the Aurora Borealis. And then we have a second book that's not about an owl. I don't know why this is up, but that's just what comes up. But it's about a family in the northeast part of the United States that go out on night walks to study owls and to try to find, they call it owling. Now, in the South, a lot of times when people are hunting, it's illegal, I believe, to hunt at night. But many people go out and observe animal nightlife. And I, for one, have a little area that sits above a creek, and my husband and I will sit out there sometimes at night, and we will watch the animals across the field graze, particularly deer. We have a lot of deer out here. We see foxes. We have a creek by that, and we watch the otters at night. And the otters come down the creek every evening at about 5 o'clock. And so when we get off work, we go, and if it's a weekend, we can sit and we can do otter watching. But different cultures do different things as far as outside activities. So these are two books that have a similar thing but totally different cultures. This is a Native American family, two little girls specifically, and this is a Caucasian family that does the same activity, basically observing in the wild at night. One studies the sky, the other studies animals, but the theme is the same: enjoyment, closeness with each other. Now, you have numerous handouts here to help you. It's the exact same thing that we did in class. We have the EdTPA glossary, which gives you the definitions of some of the words. What you're really going to like in this lesson is that this is not the full EdTPA lesson format. Let's see if I can get that to open. Maybe not. Oh, maybe so. Here it is down here. Let's see if I can get it to pop open. Now, when you look at this, you're going to see that once you get everything written in your lesson plan, and you remember I've told you before that everything in this lesson plan builds from this top part. It has to be guided by this. You can't go off the rails and start saying things that are not tied to the language of the standards. The standards and your children in your class and your books are the three critical features of planning a good lesson plan. So then your objectives, again, what will the students know and be able to do by the end of this lesson? And what language will students be expected to use? We know that. We have worked extensively on embedding vocabulary work within the read alouds that we do. We have also talked a lot about the lesson considerations. Always, always, always consider what the kids know and what you've already worked with them on. Most of you will be in a close-knit school situation. You'll know what, if you're teaching third grade, you'll know what the first and second grade teachers did with their kids because everybody talks about it. If there are misconceptions, usually a misconception is science, but sometimes kids have misconceptions. In Carl's book that he did on the parrots, most people have a misconception about parrots. They think they're just birds who live in cages, but parrots come to us from the wild, and they live in the jungle and in the forest. Then you get into your lesson plan details. What will you do before? What will you do during? And what will you do after the lesson? And what extension will you do? Please add something that you could include the families in. What family letter will you send home to let the families know what's going on? What are we doing at school? And then the evidence. The formative and the summative assessments are very, very critical. We've talked a lot about that. What tools will you use? What will you collect? What data will you collect? And that's it. You don't have to do that last part that everybody finds to be so difficult. The last part is really when you're doing EdTPA, it really allows you to think deeply before you actually get into the classroom about every and anything that you need to think about for your kids to help your kids understand the lesson. So this I'm calling the short version lesson plan. And if you get into trouble, all you have to do is call me. May the force be with you.